about it. I'm not saying that, that any of you guys are bad because you enjoyed World of Warcraft. There were parts of the game that I did enjoy, and I thought, I fully understand why tons of people enjoy this. When I did play with a group of friends and I was the healer role or DPS role, playing together like that's a very strong thing, and obviously that is one of the strongest thing in those games. But there was so much missing for me personally that took away from a huge gaming experience. And that is what I really like about games like MO2 Online 2. There's so much more to explore, so many more unique experience, and I don't have to focus on wrong level, wrong area. This area, there are always 10 levels below, so you just touch them and then die. No experience, no nothing. It's it's a completely different gaming experience. So it all matters what is exciting for you as a player. Do you want to have it very casual and play with your friends like that? And sure, those games are awesome, and there's many coming on the market, like New World and such. I mean, they also have a solid budget for those type of games. So I fully understand why New World would try to compete with World of Warcraft, because why not? It was stupid if they wouldn't, right? Because they are a giant. But for us to try to compete with that, first of all, it's not the type of game we want to do, but also it requires something completely different resources wise. So yeah. And what I found super exciting is that I thought, okay, it's just me that wants these type of games, and a few thousand players. We had a lot of those backing up from MO2 Online 1. We had all our issues with the first game. Keyboard crumbs, got my hood all day, fits perfect. Amazing, and glad to hear it. I hope you'll wear it in a stream soon. So yeah, just go back to my ending story here. So I thought that, okay, maybe it's just me getting too old. I'm coming from that type of games that is, not common today, and new players haven't been put into those games, so they don't really have to get the chance to experience that. Wow, you can play an MMORPG game like that and experience all that. And that was obviously one of the struggle for us. When we see a new player coming from Steam in MO2 Online 1, there was like, first of all, it looked out of date, graphically wise, animation wise, network wise. So that was a put off for many. And then, what do you do in this game? There's no question marks, right? That's what I'm used to. And we thought, how the hell do we show a new player how to be free? That's a big challenge for us, because all these games like World of Warcraft have kind of put them in this category, and that's how you play an MMORPG. That was a huge struggle. But what we notice now is that now, 15 years later, there's games like, trying to push the boundaries a little bit. We have Rust, Tarkov, games like that is actually getting close in some categories, gameplay feature-wise, like MO2 Online. So people are, oh wow, it's, you can do this, you can do that. It's a lot of freedom, and that have, started a new wave of open mind when it comes to these type of games. And I think that's awesome, because Online 2 is in a perfect position today, getting closer and closer to the market, with a huge growing audience that have got that experience now from those games. And already now in our stress test, that kind of shows it, that there's so many players coming from nowhere, jumping in my stream here and saying, hey, this is my first time I'm finding about MO2 Online. Looks awesome, or is super fun, or I really enjoy this and I'm excited about this. And that's a big wave of new response that we never got in the first game. So I think there's a good combination of timing on the market, and players want something more demanding, and us learning from many mistakes and improving the game from the first game. There is like a rare setup of key components that makes us be in a very good position. We are super excited, and we hear that a lot of you guys are excited also, that found it for the first time. So yeah, we couldn't be happier about the state we are. and the feedback we get from you guys. Plus COVID, yeah, I guess that's also brought a lot of gaming focus. So somehow all pieces fell together in a good alignment. It feels like we got a good second chance to get a great sandbox MMORPG on the market that obviously many players are looking forward to, and that's an amazing feeling after all these years of hard work. And yeah, as long as you guys support the game, we're gonna move forward, no doubt. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. It seems like obviously you do need that kind of desire of a gaming experience. There's no doubt that, you know, if you don't like the danger of other players being hostile, then obviously online can be a big step. Because I do notice that a lot of you guys, when I mention Ultima Online, Star Wars Galaxies, EVE Online, those are the games in that type of category, right? That really offer that kind of freedom, risk, reward, excitement, unique gaming experience. And a lot of you guys seems to be coming from those games or try those games, or like I said, coming from Rust, Tarkov, that enjoy that, you know, challenging and unique. I mean, I want a game that can get your adrenaline blood pumping, you know, feel that rush. I mean, how many games offer that? That's a gaming experience that I think is really cool. And even though we are in a beta right now where nothing really matters in terms of persistent, I've seen so many streamers of you guys. I see how you really get, you know, the adrenaline is pumping, everything is on stake, and that I love to see that happen in real time, because that means, wow, this is the magic that I was going for when creating MO2 Online. And see that happens in front of my eyes on several people, that when you're playing the game, gives me so much satisfaction that we're actually, you know, nailing those things that I think have been missing on the market. I mean, for me as well, when I'm fights, you know, obviously you want to do as good as possible, and you can instantly get, everything is, you know, you get fully focused and you want to do as good as you can. I agree with the rush, Henrik. Some great times in Ultima Online. You got any good stories about your time in Ultima Online? Oh wow, I got so many stories from Ultima Online. I mean, that was everything that brought us here. Pretty much thanks to Ultima Online, I would say that we're all here today. So yeah, I have a lot of, you know, thankful experience from that game. There's so much happened in that game. I mean, I was part of the first time ever the word PK arrived. You know, we were all starting to play Ultima Online in beta, and you know, everything was so new that, you know, obviously there was no specific terms for anything. Everything was being created back then. And the first time ever, a player attacked me and someone else, and you know, my rush, I almost fainted. The adrenaline rushing, you know, when that happened, I was, what the hell? It's a player trying to do this. And you know, we started to tell our friends, shit, these guys, there's a gang of murderers that trying to kill us and such. We got up, our gang went out, and you know, war started for the first time. And they said, what do we call them? They kill players. They're player killers. Oh, okay, they're PKs, and that's stuck. You know, first time, you know, just starting those expressions was a golden era for me personally. The first time ever those things happened. Another one. The cat's yelling. Thank you so much for gifting all those subs. You're awesome. So I mean, that was the first time where you know, things happen in terms of being a PK, and we tried to fight them back, and I played with my brother as well, and we had some other friends, and yeah, it was awesome time when everything started in the first time. And then I remember I had a guild back then, and we were buying our first castle that we're gonna place very early on in the game, and I bought the deed. We went out, and some people were following us. You know, I had my crew with me, so we weren't too worried. I placed the castle. Everyone was looking around, was excited to explore the castle, and we stood outside. And all of a sudden, I didn't notice, but one of these people that were just following around quickly ran into the house, closed the door, and I noticed that son of a bitch stole my key, went into the castle, locked the door. And that was the only key, because in the first initial version of housing, there was no ownership pretty much. If you had a key, you were the owner. So that son of a bitch, the whole guild was collected. Everyone was so proud of working with that castle. He stole my key, went in, locked the castle. And not only that, he went up on the roof, looked out, and did a little emotion, peeked us. This is my castle, he said. And oh my God, you can just imagine the frustration and pain and anger. That was, you know, one of those first shocker that holy shit. And not a single second any of us, you know, in my crew back then, or even myself, thought of contacting the company and complain that, oh my God, he stole our castle, he's not supposed to do that. And we all just thought, shit, this happened in the game, and the game mechanic allowed it, and we messed up. You know, we messed up. So we just accepted it, even though it was pure pain. And obviously we put him on a blacklist, so he didn't have much gameplay outside of that castle, that's for sure. We had to, you know, start over and find a new keep after that. So, but that gave so many memories and stories that were just so cool and exciting and interesting, like in real life. And it also taught you a lesson, right? Never trust strangers. So, so that's why also I have a quite high threshold before I complain to developers or think that, you know, this is not fair. But at the same time, obviously, I need to have understanding and you know, see what are all new players coming from, how do they experience this, and how can I be prepared and get a proper experience without, you know, bam, 1 second lose it all. So I think a good balance of obviously good information, good feedback is very important, because obviously a lot of things can be at stake if you invest a lot of time and money and resources. We want to make sure at least that there's a very good chance for you to adapt and learn and be prepared for danger and theft and stuff like that. And yeah, I also remember, you know, so I had this keep, and in that game you also have to refresh your house like once in a week at one time. Just open, close your door, and you had it refreshed, or you risk losing the house. I was away abroad for a few times, so I had to call my mom I have to teach her how to log into my character, scout so there's no one outside, open, closing the door, and move away from the door so there's no mage doing earthquake or a thief stepping in or anything like that. And I was super nervous because, you know, there was so much risk at stake. So, and she was even more nervous. So she called me, okay, how do I do this now? I have to open the door. So I have to teach my mom how to actually refresh my castle. How sick is that? But yeah, she was an awesome mom. She supported me that this was an important keep for me. And she helped me refreshing the keep whenever needed. And so yeah, she also, you know, have a lot of stories for me. I remember when I was young back then, so obviously my mom had to finance a lot of my gaming, because remember, this was on the modem, dial-up modem time, where you had to pay money every minute to be on the internet. And my mom was, you know, and this was also the first time ever you pay with a credit card online, and that was super scary. You know, everyone said no, 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 never use a credit card online. That's a big no-no. But somehow my mom supported me and thought it was quite exciting stuff I was doing. This was quite out of the ordinary back at the time. So she was actually an amazing mom to actually lend me a credit card back then, and I could pay for my gaming service, and she paid for obviously the internet time, and I was playing nonstop. So when the rate came, my parents asked, "What the hell are you doing online all these hours?" But she somehow thought that this could be valuable for him for the future because he's very interested in building stuff as well with computers and developing things. So I remember it was not many years ago. She said, "Wow, imagine Henrik if I said no, I won't pay your 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 internet or credit card bills. Then there will be no Ultima Online for me, and there will most likely not be MO2 Online either." So imagine how many steps shapes the future, right? Thanks to them as well that we are all here and having this conversation. So yeah, there were so many things leading to this big project. But yeah, crazy times back in the days. I started really young in Ultima Online. A plus Henrik's mom, I love the support. Yeah, I was happy that they support me. I mean, I didn't get, my friends got Nintendo and stuff like that. But I didn't get that. So I remember I was a bit upset when I was a teenager or younger. I didn't get those first consoles because I was interested in game already. But I did get a PC and more sophisticated stuff like this. And somehow I think after all that was the right decision, and that brought us all here today. So I'm happy today things turned out the way it did. So we got the opportunity at least, because yeah, these have been obviously my main passion to work on. How old were you when you first started MO2 Online? Uh, so how old was I when I started Star Vault? I think I was 23 when I started. So as you can imagine, very young, without knowledge to run a company, and I was studying economics and entrepreneurship, and the latest years I also wanted to study how to develop games because I needed game development skill set. And that was quite difficult to find in Sweden back then. There was only a few educations that offer that at a proper level. And then after that, I found another more advanced gaming school education, which actually Mats Persson was the co-founder of. So that's how I met him, and that was much more modern, cool, and correct way of making games. So I studied that as well for 2 years, and I built up a network there and learned a ton how to do proper game design and also how to communicate with all the different parts of game development. So I got a lot of school knowledge in terms of that, and then I also got Mats with me. He left the school to join us to start on the project, so that was really cool. And then yeah, I started to harass Epic Games to be one of the only independent companies to use Unreal Engine 3 back then, which was a brand new engine. Only major companies like Microsoft and such licensed it for several millions dollars, and obviously I didn't have those kind of money, so I was just calling the vice president nonstop and tried to hype him about MO2 Online and the potential. And after 1.5 years, he said, "Holy shit, Henrik, you never give up. I'm gonna give you the damn engine. Don't fail me." So the pressure was on, and then we started to work on full time on MO2 Online 1. And yeah, obviously, okay, so Unreal Engine is not built for MMORPG at all. It's built for single player or multiplayer. That's it. So how the hell do we build a MMORPG solution? What the hell have we started? One of the most difficult project ever in the gaming industry. Matt's probably thought I was crazy as well. He had a lot of experience in gaming industry. But yeah, that's where all the uphill battles started. I never gave up. We just fought through and moved forward. So yeah, it's been quite a journey with so much interesting ups and downs and everything that you can think of. So many crazy stories as well throughout the years. Really crazy stories. Friends always tell me you should write a book because this is science fiction, some of it. So there's so many things happen over the years that you could never guess. So yeah, so just getting the final opportunity to actually take the step, move over to a better engine, and use all that knowledge and experience and do it one more time, but correct this time. It's like going back in time with your book in your hand, Back to the Future, having that knowledge to do it again. That's what the big difference here, obviously, and that's also why I think that so many new players can see that, wow, this is interesting. This could become a really big, exciting MMORPG. What was the biggest failure of Model 1, you think?